The rich is getting richer, poor is getting poor. Mr. Poverty, I knock my wall if I get to people. Don't feel with time soon comes, I don't worry no more.
Hey, what's up everybody? Joshua Casper back at you with Plugin Boutique, and today we're checking out Virtual Bassist, specifically Royal. This is a virtual instrument by UJAM Instruments, and it's a bass instrument, obviously. It's a pretty cool device, and if you're familiar with any other UJAM virtual instruments, they all work very similarly. They have a very similar layout, and they're very easy to use and get some really cool results. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I made the bass line for this reggae track. And along the way, hopefully talk a little bit about what's available inside of it and how to use it, so you get a good enough understanding. And of course, links in the video description if you want more info, or just to go ahead and cop the device now. So let's just go ahead and get started. So here inside of Ableton Live, I've got a reggae track, and it's in the key of A sharp minor. So what I've done is just imported a random bass line that was in A sharp minor for me, so I didn't have to worry about anything. And the key to this is having them just be long notes, because inside of Virtual Bassist, you have two different sort of play modes. One is the player and one is the instrument. The instrument is going to play the notes as you play them on your keyboard or as it receives the MIDI note information, while the player is going to play patterns and sort of common phrases and style phrases. You can see right here, common and style, inside of a particular genre that you pick. And inside of the main preset right here, the factory preset, you see we've got introduction, which could be like a little bit of everything: ballad, funk, soul, hip hop, R&B, indie, Latin, pop, reggae, ska. That's where we're gonna kind of be today, and rock. And what this does is when you choose one of these, if I come into reggae, ska, just choose modern dub, you'll see that everything has been changed. The amplifier has been changed, the character, the pickup position, the compressor, the equalizer, the octaver, which kind of adds upper harmonic frequencies when you go to the right. And everything has been updated here, including the style phrases. So when you choose one from up here, you're getting a brand new, or at least a very unique setup for the entire instrument. When you can choose different patterns from right here. So you see if I click here, I've got all these different types of patterns. So this is a little bit different, and it can get you some really cool results, because when you flip to the right, you'll see that it doesn't just stick in R&B, it doesn't just stick in the reggae pattern. In a minute, when I go through and set up my MIDI, we can just kind of flip through these until we get some interesting patterns that might happen to work better than stereotypical reggae bass phrase. So let's go ahead and get into it. So as I said, I've just got these MIDI clips right here, and they're just sustained notes, and let's see what it sounds like. I do have a sidechain compressor over here, just to let you know. That's why it's kind of bumping a little bit. There's a little bit of pulsating going on. Okay, so that's the basics now. I've got this kind of style phrase for modern pop, modern reggae pop going, and it's staying in key with my track, and the pattern is staying the same as it progresses through this MIDI clip. But I can jump into this MIDI clip and change the style phrases. But before I do, I just want to show you the easy way to audition them. It's to solo the bassist here, and then just click here, and you'll see that it's switched over to C2 inside of the style phrases. And I can switch here. So there, instead, it's having a little bit more sustained note after do-do-do. All right. All right, different style phrase. So you can see that they're changing. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the compressor so we don't get any clicking. So this is the stop button. It will stop any progression that's playing. And by the way, latch will just play it until you hit the stop button. All right, so I'm gonna turn latch off because I think I've already got a MIDI clip in there, so I don't need to worry about it. So what's really cool too is this has got like sort of a live instrument possibility, because if I hold down the fill here, it will start in time with the music, and then when the end of the bar is over, it will actually unclick for me. And let me show you what that looks like. So you see, I'm adding fills or variations to the style phrases as I go along, and that's what we're going to do in a second. But I also want to point out there are common phrases over here that are going to stay the same, and they'll just be different depending on the actual instrument settings you have down here at the bottom. But we're going to stick with reggae for now. Let's jump into this MIDI clip, and let me show you how to start working it. So what we want to do is get our pen tool here and come in and just find the right pattern for these sorts of notes. And we want to kind of listen to the rest of the music to make sure it's okay. I'm going to turn off the acapella for now. So we've already got a really nice bass line there. And like I was saying before, there are certain keys that are fills. And if you ever forget, you just open up the instrument again and it will show you. So I'm looking for style phrases between C2 and C3. Well, actually C2, I guess, and A sharp 2, because B2 is going to be stop and C3 is going to be the chords. But these right here are the fills. So the black notes after C2. So I can come back into my MIDI file here, and let's add some fills here to the ends of these just so we add some variation. So if I come in here, and I can even do it without really listening, I'm going to do it like this, put it right here, and then put this one over here, and now let's listen to it. So that's a really dope reggae bass line that has been made and is customizable. And I didn't have to program any of that into MIDI because it's giving me results that a bass player would actually do. I'm not a bass player. So it's giving me variations that I might not necessarily be able to put in myself. And it's doing it very easily. It's got a really great, sleek workflow. And that's it. The next thing we can do is actually come in here to sort of some of these and just change them up and see what we like. So let's say I like the tone of the guitar. I'd want to come into the phrases here and choose something like 90s reggae pop and see what these style phrases sound like in conjunction with my track. So it sounds super dope. And remember, now that we have that MIDI laid down, all of the different presets here, the different style phrases, and the big presets over here that change everything are all going to be triggered in this similar fashion. So if I come into reggae and ska and choose something else, like maybe classic reggae, so this is going to change all of the instrument effects and processes down here and the style phrases. It's going to bring me back to dub. So we already did that one. Let's check out something else like Rocksteady. Let's see what Rocksteady does. You'll see that the amps move, the drive is different. Let's see what it sounds like. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but this is some ways to get into some really interesting results that you might not have expected or, thought about getting to begin with. It's just something really cool. So very different vibe completely. Just going through and even flipping through and maybe checking out, Smooth Groove. Let's see what that sounds like. This has nothing to do with reggae per se, but it might work well with the vocal in the track.
The rich is getting richer, poor is getting poor. Mr. Poverty, you're not my well if I get to people do but feel with time soon comes. I don't to worry no more. Put your trust in the Father, you'll be safe and secure. Cause the poor is getting poorer while the rich is getting rich. Who don't have no money before when them get it, they might switch. And material things.
So it actually does fit rather well with the track and the vocal. Now, I've been making it move a lot in terms of style phrases just to kind of showcase what's available inside of the style phrases. I'd probably tone back on that and just kind of, add fills every now and then and really switch up the style phrases for the bridge and the hook and so on. But this is a really powerful instrument. If you think about what we've actually done in terms of putting in work and the results that we're getting in return for that minimal effort, I think is, really speaks for itself. So anyway, that's a quick look at how to get really cool results using Virtual Bassist Royal. It's available now on pluginboutique.com. Highly suggest checking it out, and links in the video description. I'm Joshua Casper, and I'll see you in the next video.